All right, settle down everyone. Welcome to the show. Tonight we have a massive question to tackle. It's a debate that's been brewing. In pubs, in cars, in your family group chats. One corner, darkness and mystery. In one corner we have the mysterious, soulful Prince of Darkness, the Weeknd, the man with a voice as smooth as silk. And in the other corner, the charming guitar-strumming lad from next door, Ed Sheeran, the one and only Ed Sheeran, a proper clash of styles, an epic showdown of vibe versus voice, cinematic worlds versus acoustic honesty. They've sold out stadiums, they've topped charts around the world, they have soundtracks to our lives, first dates, late night drives, both brilliant, hitting you in completely different ways. Grab your popcorn, this is going to be a fun ride. Let's get into it. The Weeknd versus Ed Sheeran. Every superstar has an origin story, and these two are no different. Let's start with Abel Tesfaye, the Weeknd, and then hop across to young Ed in Halifax. He grew up in Toronto, raised largely by his mother and grandmother. Life wasn't always glamorous. He was a bit of a rebel and a high school dropout who chased music instead. He started uploading dark, moody tracks to YouTube in 2010, keeping his identity mysterious. House of Balloons arrived. Hazy, raw, and unlike anything else. It created huge online buzz. Then Drake heard him and gave a shout-out. That was the spark that launched him into the mainstream. Suddenly he wasn't just a voice, he was the next big thing, built on vibe and mystery. Ed came from Halifax, England. Early church choir singing and a kid learning guitar. He busked, played pubs, moved to London at 16, couch surfing and grinding through hundreds of gigs a year. His loop pedal SB.TV performance went viral. Raw skill and relentless grind turned into a breakthrough. From sleeping on couches to signing record deals, a testament to work and persistence. A superstar is nothing without anthems, the songs that get stuck in your head. For the Weeknd, the rise was a slow burn. Critically loved, but not always mainstream. Then, 2015. Beauty Behind the Madness. That album pushed him to pop superstardom. A Max Martin-produced, funky, irresistible single, everywhere on the radio. Then The Hills, darker, still a #1. Two extremes from one album show range, but the signature track, Blinding Lights, an 80s synth-pop monster that broke chart records. It stayed in the Hot 100 Top 10 for an astonishing run. Pure pop perfection. Ed's debut single, The A-Team, was heartbreaking and human, honesty over flash. Plus brought melodic, intimate songwriting. Ed arrived on his own terms. Divide and Shape of You, a global juggernaut, record streams and universal reach. And Perfect, the modern wedding classic. Two songs, two different emotional hits from one album. Ed can make you dance and make you cry. That duality is rare. When we talk about who's bigger, awards and milestones matter. The Weeknd, 4 Grammys and an enormous haul at the Billboard Music Awards, around 20 wins. Blinding Lights dominated charts for months. Insane staying power. He even headlined the Super Bowl, one of the biggest stages on earth. Ed is also a 4-time Grammy winner with 7 Brit Awards, beloved at home in the UK. His Divide Tour, 2017-2019, became the highest-grossing concert tour ever. Nearly 9 million attendees and over $770 million. Both artists have sold tens of millions of records, massive global footprints. Different kinds of dominance, awards versus touring revenue and cultural reach. Trophies shine, but they're only part of the story. Next, setbacks, and how each bounced back from the tumble. It's not always cheering crowds and shiny awards. Every artist faces battles. For the Weeknd, the biggest public battle was the Grammys snub after After Hours and Blinding Lights. 0 nominations, public shock. He called the process corrupt and announced a boycott. Did it slow him down? Not at all. He headlined the Super Bowl and leaned into creative independence. Ed's battles were public and personal. A high-profile copyright suit over Thinking Out Loud. The jury found in his favor, a huge relief after intense scrutiny. He lost his friend Jamal Edwards and faced his wife's health scare while she was pregnant. Raw life events turned into subtract. He poured that pain into music, heartbreaking and deeply human. Setbacks tested them both, but each bent the narrative into another chapter of strength. Next, let's look at what makes their music actually tick. So what hooks us? Let's break down their styles. The Weeknd builds worlds. Ed invites you into his living room. The Weeknd's sound is cinematic, R&B, pop, electronic, drenched in atmosphere. Michael Jackson, Prince, synth-era bands, and that haunting falsetto make his music both angelic and eerie. Ed's toolkit is simple: a guitar, a loop pedal, and relentless storytelling. He builds whole arrangements live, becoming a one-man band and captivating audiences. One is music for Saturday night neon, the other, Sunday morning warmth. Weeknd tells cinematic, complex stories. Ed writes diary-like songs that feel personal and immediate. Both craft deep emotional responses, but via very different approaches. The result? Fans who feel seen, soothed, thrilled, or transported, depending on which lane you prefer. Alright, pull back the curtain for some fun tidbits. Little facts that make them human. Abel is a huge film buff. His videos feel like short films. Directors like Scorsese and Ridley Scott influence him. He's trilingual. A nod to his heritage shows up even in his music. Ed has over 60 tattoos, quirky and sentimental, each marking moments in his life. He secretly bought a house for his parents across the street from his estate, keeps family close. He's famously generous, co-writing to help friends, making sure collaborators are rewarded. Abel isn't just a singer, he performs, directs, and ventures into TV and film projects. Each has little signatures, tattoos, film references, secret gifts that make their stories richer. Fun facts aside, these are artists who live big, creative lives. Ultimately, an artist's size is judged by their fans, the people who buy, stream, and sing along. The sales, the streams, the crowds, those metrics matter. The Weeknd's XO fam love his mystique, dissect his lyrics, and live inside his worlds. Cheerios connect to Ed's relatability, songs for weddings, birthdays, breakups, and everyday moments. Weeknd writes cinematic loneliness and hedonism. Ed writes diary-like, universal emotions. One builds an aesthetic, the other builds intimacy. Both create fierce loyalty. The Weeknd sets vibes and trends. Ed writes the soundtrack for life's big moments. Ed's touring numbers and crowds are unmatched, a testament to his live power. Fans feel seen, some by cinematic drama, some by intimate storytelling. Both artists are giants, but their size is different. So, who is bigger? Sales, streams, awards, tours, fans. We looked at it all. Metrics matter, but they don't tell the whole story. The Weeknd is a visionary, building cinematic grandeur and an aesthetic that redefined pop cool. Ed is the people's champion. Raw connection, a songwriter for life's biggest moments. Is it better to be a blockbuster or a heartfelt indie film? They excel in different lanes. Mystery and spectacle versus openness and simplicity. Both valid routes to greatness. They've both written songs that will last, amassed trophies, and built fiercely loyal fan bases. Maybe the question isn't who is bigger, but how lucky we are to have both. To The Weeknd and to Ed Sheeran, two of the biggest and best artists of our generation. Cheers to that. If you enjoyed this comparison, hit like, subscribe, and tell us who you'd crown in the comments.